at the North Pole, it's near the South Pole where some serious scientific action has been taking place.
Off the coast of Antarctica, deep underwater, researchers have discovered the British ship called Endurance.
This frozen wasteland, bare of any trees, is home to the tough Weddell seals. They dive deep into icy waters, using the Earth's magnetic fields to navigate through thick ice in search of air. Their survival skills are incredible. But what else is beneath that vast, cold silence? What horrors could footage from beyond the ice wall uncover? Let's uncover the chilling secrets lurking under Antarctica's ice. Survival against all odds. One of these stories involves seals, often called the ocean's puppies because they look so cute. Even though they might seem simple with their glossy eyes, studies have shown they are very good at surviving. Take the Weddell seals, for example. These seals can dive more than 2,000 feet deep into the icy waters and hold their breath for over an hour. They are excellent hunters, but what really makes them special is their ability to find air holes in the thick ice. This skill is crucial for both breathing and catching their food. But how do they do it? Research funded by the National Science Foundation has found that Weddell seals have an internal compass. They use Earth's magnetic fields to navigate, like having a built-in GPS. This amazing adaptation helps them survive in Antarctica's tough environment. This discovery changes how we think about animal intelligence and adaptability. It shows us that life can thrive in the harshest conditions. The intelligence of these seals and their ability to adapt make us rethink what we know about the natural world. Antarctica, despite its cold and barren appearance, is as full of life and mystery as any tropical rainforest or coral reef. The dark space rocks against the endless ice make these rare finds stand out, offering great chances for scientific study. While exploring the Weddell Sea, researchers discovered something amazing: a huge breeding colony of icefish. This colony covered an area as large as Malta, about 92 square miles. It had around 60 million nests, each built carefully by icefish parents. These fish cleared circular patches on the seabed, each about 75 centimeters wide, to lay and protect their eggs. This helped keep their eggs safe from predators and strong currents that could sweep them away. The dedication of these icefish to their babies' survival is truly impressive. Living in the freezing waters of Antarctica, these fish have unique adaptations. Their blood is clear, lacking the usual red hemoglobin found in other fish. Instead, they have special antifreeze proteins that prevent ice crystals from forming in their bodies, allowing them to survive in temperatures that would be deadly to most marine life. But this isn't the most amazing part. This discovery not only shows the icefish's incredible adaptations, but also highlights the importance of the Weddell Sea as one of the last untouched marine ecosystems on Earth. Protecting its biodiversity is crucial, and understanding the life there helps scientists create strategies to preserve it. Antarctica is a place of extreme survival, where life continues against all odds. This frozen continent is home to various creatures, each uniquely adapted to survive the harsh, icy environment. Antarctic sea spiders, or Pantopoda, are amazing creatures. Instead of having traditional body structures, their vital organs are in their long legs, and they use a long, snout-like mouth to suck nutrients from their prey. This strange body setup helps them thrive in the cold, sparse Antarctic waters. Tardigrades, known as water bears, are tiny but incredibly tough. These microscopic creatures can survive in the most extreme conditions, including the vacuum of space. They can dry out completely and stay in a suspended state for decades, coming back to life with just a drop of water. But this isn't the most surprising part. Giant sea sponges live in the deep, dark world under the ice shelves, far from sunlight and usual food sources. They survive by capturing food particles from the slow-moving underwater currents. Their ability to adapt and use such limited resources shows their incredible resilience. The colossal squid is a giant of the deep seas, living in the dark, cold waters of Antarctica. Known for its enormous size, it is one of the ocean's most elusive creatures. Its existence hints at the vast, unexplored depths of Antarctic waters and the secrets they hold. Emperor penguins are the royal figures of the Antarctic. They are the tallest and heaviest of all penguin species. During the harsh Antarctic winter, they have complex breeding rituals, showing their dedication and resilience. Their ability to survive and breed in such extreme conditions is truly remarkable. But that's not all. As the sun sets over the ice, skilled hunters emerge, showcasing survival in the Antarctic seas, the apex predators of Antarctic waters. Leopard seals are the skilled hunters of the Antarctic seas. Known for their speed and strength, these seals are top predators. They eat fish, squid, and sometimes even other seals. Their hunting skills and adaptability make them a dominant force in the Antarctic ecosystem. Each species in Antarctica tells an amazing story of adaptation and survival, showing the incredible resilience of life on our planet's most extreme and isolated continent. An international team of researchers found 5 new meteorites in Antarctica, including one of the largest ever found on the continent. This meteorite weighs 17 pounds and is about the size of a cantaloupe. While its composition is ordinary, its size makes it special. Large meteorites like this are very rare, with only about 100 similar-sized specimens found across Antarctica. These meteorites are important not just because of their size, but because they provide valuable insights into the makeup and history of celestial bodies beyond Earth. But that's not all. Antarctica's vast, white ice fields are perfect for spotting these meteorites. The stark whiteness of the ice contrasts sharply with the dark meteorites, making them easier to find and study. This unique aspect of Antarctica has made it a key location for collecting extraterrestrial materials, with each discovery adding to our understanding of the universe beyond our planet. Antarctica is more than just a land of ice and snow. Its cold, dry climate helps preserve meteorites in excellent condition, making it a treasure trove for scientists. These space rocks, encased in ice for thousands of years, tell us a lot about our solar system's history. Glaciers slowly bring these meteorites to the surface, where researchers can find them. Each expedition brings hope of discovering larger and stranger meteorites scattered across this frozen land. But that's not all. In 2010, a geological drilling project in Antarctica revealed something amazing under the ice. A robot with a camera discovered tiny sea anemones, no bigger than an inch, living upside down in the ice. These burrowing ghost anemones dangle their 20 to 24 tentacles into the cold water below, a unique adaptation not seen before. Scientists are now keen to learn how these anemones feed and survive in such extreme conditions. And then, in 2019, researchers in the Scotia Sea north of Antarctica made an astonishing discovery. They found ancient DNA, or cetadNA, in sediment cores from the seafloor. This DNA, from tiny marine organisms called diatoms, is 1 million years old. It's the oldest DNA ever found, beating the previous record from Arctic permafrost. This discovery helps us understand more about Earth's climate and ecosystems in the distant past. But this wasn't the only big find. Scientists studying Antarctica have also uncovered the colossal squid, a creature with the largest eyes in the animal kingdom, each as big as a dinner plate. These huge eyes help the squid see in the deep, dark waters of the Southern Ocean. Researchers are fascinated by this giant invertebrate and are working to understand its lifestyle and survival strategies. At an incredible length of 46 feet, the colossal squid is a true wonder of the ocean. Some people even think it might be bigger. Unlike its relative, the giant squid, which has only sucker-lined tentacles, the colossal squid has tentacles with sharp hooks. These hooks are perfect for catching big prey like the Patagonian toothfish. Another standout feature is its beak, the biggest among squid species, which is designed to tear large pieces from its prey. This makes it a powerful ambush predator. But this isn't the scariest part. The colossal squid stays away from the ocean's surface, preferring the deep, dark waters up to 7,200 feet below. This deep-sea home keeps it safe from most threats except for sperm whales, one of its few enemies. The colossal squid is believed to be a solitary hunter, using stealth and surprise to catch its prey. Because it lives so deep and is rarely seen by humans, scientists have launched special missions to learn more about this mysterious creature. Switching to human adventures in extreme places, over 100 years ago, the poles of our planet were the last unknown frontiers. This drew brave explorers to these icy regions. Among them was Ernest Shackleton and his crew. On December 5, 1914, they set sail from South Georgia Island to Antarctica on the Endurance, a ship built to handle harsh polar conditions. The crew of 28 men, including Shackleton, several scientists, and even a surprise stowaway, found themselves increasingly trapped by the thickening ice of the Weddell Sea. Winter's grip reveals hidden treasures, showing the fragile balance between life and the frozen silence. Endurance's icy demise. Despite their hard work using picks and saws to break the ice, by January 1915, the Endurance was stuck. The Antarctic winter brought crushing ice that slowly destroyed the ship. For months, the crew endured the harsh conditions on their trapped vessel. Finally, on October 27, 1915, Shackleton had to make the tough decision to abandon the Endurance as the ice crushed its hull, sending it to the bottom of the sea. This story is a powerful reminder of human determination and nature's ruthless force. But this wasn't the only fascinating thing in Antarctica. In the vast icy expanse, scientists and explorers noticed strange green icebergs. These icebergs, often called jade bergs, show a bright emerald color, standing out against the usual whites and blues. For a long time, the green color puzzled everyone. Some thought it was due to organic materials or tiny life forms in the ice. However, it turned out that iron oxides, which are also found in rust, were the cause. Oxides absorb blue light but reflect red and orange, mixing with the ice to create a green color. These green icebergs are more than just a pretty sight. Unlike regular icebergs that just melt, these green ones release iron into the water, providing essential nutrients for phytoplankton. These tiny organisms are crucial because they are the base of the marine food chain and support a wide range of marine life. Understanding these icebergs has helped scientists see their important role in Antarctic ecosystems. But this isn't the end of the surprises in Antarctica. In 2007, almost 100 years after Shackleton's famous Nimrod expedition, something remarkable was found beneath Shackleton's base at Cape Royds. Encased in the ice were 5 crates, not filled with regular supplies, but with alcoholic drinks. 3 had McKinley's rare old Highland malt whiskey, and 2 had brandy. This discovery was not only historically significant, but also a reminder of the harsh conditions faced by early Antarctic explorers. Even though many believe alcohol provides warmth, it actually contributes to hypothermia deaths in cold environments. The initial warmth from drinking does little to protect against the severe Antarctic temperatures, highlighting the misleading nature of alcohol in such extreme conditions. This discovery shows the lasting allure and ongoing surprises that Antarctica holds for those who explore its icy realms. It looks like this crate of whiskey was chosen for the expedition team to enjoy during their tough times. Maybe it was for some relaxation or to celebrate a milestone. The boxes were carefully dug out and sent to New Zealand. To their delight, they found 11 bottles of whiskey, still wrapped in their original paper and straw. These bottles weren't just old, they were perfectly preserved treasures from another era. Experts from White and Mackay, along with the Scotch Whisky Research Institute, took these bottles and analyzed them down to the last detail. They managed to recreate the old whiskey blend, giving people today a chance to sip on a piece of history. This recreated whiskey, called McKinley's Rare Old Highland Malt, caused quite a stir. It was so popular that they even made a second batch named The Journey, thanks to its success. But that's not the most surprising part. Let's talk about the fruitcake found at the South Pole. Yes, fruitcake, that holiday dessert nobody really craves. In 2017, members of the Antarctic Heritage Trust found this old fruitcake in a hut at Camp Air. It was in a rusty tin and wrapped in wax paper. Surprisingly, it looked and smelled good enough to eat. Preserved by the cold Antarctic climate, acting like a natural freezer, this cake was likely meant to be a comforting, calorie-rich treat for Scott and his crew during their tough expedition. Sadly, while the cake stayed safe in the hut, Scott and his team met a grim end. But wait, there's more. Don't forget the Yeti crab, a strange creature found deep in the ocean. These crabs are covered in hair-like bristles and live in the intense heat of hydrothermal vents along the East Scotia Ridge. Even though the surrounding waters are ice cold, these vents release mineral-rich water at temperatures over 400 degrees Celsius. This is where the Yeti crabs make their home. They don't just survive in this harsh environment. They thrive by farming bacteria in their bristles. This bacteria eats the minerals from the vents and turns them into nutrients the crabs can consume through a process called chemosynthesis. Living in close-knit colonies, these crabs create bustling communities in an otherwise desolate place. In the cold wilderness, human traces and resilient creatures shine through. The loneliest ATM. Did you know there's an ATM at the South Pole? It's probably the loneliest ATM in the world, standing all by itself in the freezing cold. It's a quirky yet interesting reminder of human presence in one of the most remote parts of the planet. Although Antarctica has no permanent residence or government, it sees between 1,000 to 5,000 visitors each year, depending on the season. This rotating group of people highlights a curious feature: an ATM at McMurdo Station, the largest research center in Antarctica. This special ATM, managed by Wells Fargo and dispensing US dollars, becomes especially important during the harsh winter months, when only about 200 people stay at the station. During this freezing period, the ATM is a lifeline for the scientists and support staff. It provides the cash they need to buy essentials at the small station store, send mail, or enjoy a drink at the bar. Servicing this lonely cash dispenser is no small task. Every 2 years, special technicians are flown in to maintain and update the machine. But this isn't easy. They go through thorough psychological and physical tests to make sure they can handle the isolation and severe weather. These steps are crucial because they might get stranded by sudden storms. But this wasn't the worst part. What if the ATM breaks down between these visits? The staff at McMurdo are trained to do basic repairs to keep it working. There's also a second ATM on site, used as a backup for parts if needed. Even in one of the most remote places on Earth, having cash is still important for everyday survival. Now let's talk about some of the lesser-known inhabitants of Antarctica. One of them is the Yanisca gigantea, or the Antarctic scale worm. This creature, which can grow up to a foot long, is amazing with its shiny scales that help it blend in and stay safe on the rocky seabed. Its body is segmented and very flexible, letting it move through narrow cracks underwater. The scale worm's head has powerful jaws and sharp teeth, making it a strong predator in the icy waters. But the challenges don't end here. Despite the freezing temperatures, this worm thrives. Its strong muscles protect it from being swept away by strong underwater currents. The Geological gigantea is a skilled hunter in the rocky waters, showing that life can not only exist, but also thrive in the toughest conditions. From the practical to the peculiar, the stories of Antarctica, from its crucial ATMs to its fascinating wildlife, show us how life adapts and survives in extreme environments. For over 100 years, nobody knew where the San Telmo was. Then in 1960, explorers found pieces of a shipwreck on Livingston Island in the South Shetland Islands. Among the wreckage, there were clues that this might be the San Telmo, but the exact identity of the shipwreck is still debated. If it turns out to be the San Telmo, it would be the oldest shipwreck found in Antarctic waters and could show the first human presence on the Antarctic continent. If the crew reached the shore before dying from the harsh conditions, they would be among the earliest people to set foot on Antarctica, even earlier than other recorded landings. But the real mystery? No clear traces of this wreck have been found despite many searches. Scientists made a shocking discovery on East Antarctica's Long Peninsula: hundreds of mummified Adelie penguins frozen in ice. This sad find showed that a whole penguin colony had been wiped out. happened during two bad periods, one about 750 years ago and another 200 years ago. These times had heavy rain and snow, which normally wouldn't harm adult penguins. But penguin chicks, with their fluffy down feathers, were at high risk for hypothermia in the wet conditions. Unable to stay warm, they died. Radiocarbon dating showed that this spot had been a breeding ground for penguins for thousands of years, with the last big group leaving around 800 years ago, likely pushed away by the start of the Little Ice Age. But this wasn't the worst part. The tragedy lies in the impact of changing weather patterns on vulnerable wildlife. The 1980s, Livingston Island, part of the South Shetland Islands, revealed another puzzling discovery: a skull and a leg bone on its beach, which was a surprising find in such a remote and harsh place. In the 19th century, seal hunters from around the world, including South America, came to the Antarctic Peninsula and nearby islands for the valuable seal fur trade. It's thought that these bones might be connected to these early seal hunting trips. But how did this young woman end up on Livingston Island and die there in such tough conditions? The mystery remains unsolved, leaving us to wonder about the lives and hardships of those early explorers. An amazing 2014 expedition, teams from UK universities, and the British Antarctic Survey found something incredible under West Antarctica's Filchner-Ronne ice shelf. Using radar on planes and satellite pictures, they found giant tunnels under the ice, some as tall as 820 feet, almost as high as the Eiffel Tower. Before this, scientists thought the meltwater under the ice spread out evenly. But they found out that this water actually flows through big, river-like channels. This changed how we understand ice melt and its effects on the oceans. But that's not the most surprising part. They also found an ancient frozen beetle stuck in the ice. This wasn't just any piece of ice. It held the fossil of Ball's Antarctic tundra beetle, which lived during the mid-Miocene epoch, around 14 to 20 million years ago. Back then, Antarctica was full of life, very different from today's icy landscape. The fossil, found in the Beardmore Glacier area, was surrounded by ancient remains of southern beech trees, buttercups, and mosses, showing a greener and livelier Antarctic past. A long time ago, beautiful landscapes surrounded ancient streams, showing a lively region from millions of years ago. In Antarctica, a remarkable discovery grabs our attention: a box of old photos frozen in ice for over 100 years. These pictures, found by New Zealand's Antarctic Heritage Trust, were in an old hut used by Captain Robert Falcon Scott during his expedition. Frozen photos tell a haunting tale of endurance and discovery, revealing a forgotten world, surviving Antarctica's frozen desolation. These photos show the tough times and losses of Ernest Shackleton's Ross Sea team back in 1912. They wanted to be the first to get to the South Pole, but faced big troubles. A storm swept their ship, the SS Aurora, out to sea, stranding the team with little to live on. They had to make it through nearly 2 years in one of the coldest, toughest places on Earth. One of the men left behind was Arnold Patrick Spencer Smith, the team's photographer. The cold and loneliness got to him, and he died from the tough conditions. He left these photos, which were forgotten in a hut for 100 years. The chilly Antarctic air kept the photos from falling apart. They were made on a type of film that usually goes bad fast. But there's more to the story. As Antarctica's ice melts, new discoveries pop up, changing what we know about this far-off land. One odd photo showed a creature with 4 limbs and a tail on the ice. At first, it looked normal, but a closer look showed something strange. This led to a big debate. Is this a new creature, or just a rock-shaped funny? People all over are wondering what else might be hiding under the ice. There's also talk about the Pelagornithidae, ancient birds with beak edges sharp like teeth, although they weren't real teeth. These edges helped them catch slippery fish and squid as they soared over the sea, maybe not landing for weeks. What's really cool is that these birds showed up just after the dinosaurs died off, about 65 million years ago. The fossils, about 50 million years old, show these giant birds came about as life began to grow again after the dinosaurs. Imagine how different Antarctica might be if these big birds were still around. But there's even more to think about. These birds might have really changed how Antarctica's whole ecosystem worked, possibly affecting how other species evolved. Their disappearance makes us wonder about their role back then, and how they might have mixed with other life forms of their time. How might these ancient birds have altered Antarctica's destiny if they had survived? Like, comment, and subscribe for more.